Bonjour. Jingo Giza Gazins Kaz. My government name is James Williams, and I'm 78 years old. I'm from the Bear Clan, Anishinaabe from Giketaganing, land of the gardens. This has been my home all of my life. This is where everything has begun. All the loss and the hardships of our people right here. You know, a lot of people don't understand where this all began, but it began right here. I remember when the big black trucks came up. I didn't realize what they were, but then they started putting us in this car, and I thought we were going for a ride. Me and my sisters, my baby brother. And they took us for a long drive. I don't know where we went. And we finally ended up in a Simmons up in Baraga. I remember that because of that day. I remember it was a pretty nice day that day. And, you know, me, I was a kid, you know, I had to go to the bathroom pretty good, you know. And that's the first thing I did. I got out of the car and I went right there. And from there, you know, they took us up to the stairs where, from there, I don't know where they took us from there. I know they took us to a place where we had to clean us up. And it was hard. It was hard because I didn't understand what was going on. I didn't really know what we were doing there. So
what year was this, and how old were you?
I was 4 years old. And my brother was, I was 5. My brother was 2. He was just a baby when I got there. And my brother he didn't know nothing about it, but I did. And my sisters, they all came and they were wondering, you know, when we first started, my mom, you know, they were told that by someone that she wasn't doing a very good job of taking care of us and feeding us. We were dirty and we didn't have nothing to eat. And so I guess the welfare service came in. They're the one that come and got us, not asking no questions, not asking if they could take us. And my mom couldn't do nothing about it because she couldn't describe what they were seeing in us, you know.
What year was this?
I was born in 43, so that had been in 47 or 48, something like that.
What are your parents' names?
My mother's name is Lillian, and my father's name is Tori.
Can you tell us your siblings' names?
My little brother's name was Richard, and I had a sister. The next one to me was Mabel, then Gertrude, and Alice. Those were the 3 that were all put there at the same time. My older sister ran away a couple of times, but they brought her back. So, and she got what she needed, what they thought she needed.
And your family is all from Watersmeet?
Yes, we're all from here.
And what was your family like? Religious, traditional? What was your family like?
Well, as far as I know, I was young yet, and I remember our culture being with the Bedouin lodges, the big drums. My father and mother, they were really religious with that, with the big drum and in the Medewan lodges. So, and they taught what they could to us. I know when I was young, I almost died of whooping cough, and I was able to go into the longhouse, the Medewan Lodge, and they took care of me. And I'm here for that, you know. And so they believed pretty good in that stuff.
So you said you had attended a Synod's.
Yes.
How many years were you there?
I remember coming to back home in Watersmead here and being in the 6th grade. So I guess there's 3 or 4 years what I was in there. And from there I stayed a little bit, and I went to another orphanage in Lower Michigan, Harbor Springs, Michigan. Yeah, I got fed around a little bit. I come home in the summertime, and the next year I go back. When I got through that orphanage, they sent me to a boys' school. And the boys' school was, so I stayed there till I graduated from high school. And I came back. But the whole thing started, you know, after all that, because after I come out of the Boysville and graduated, I joined the service. But all the things happened before that, you know. Most of our people, we lost our culture. No one was able to speak the language no more. We were able to speak some of the language when you went there, but we weren't able to talk. Because when we did, you know, they didn't understand what we were saying. They might have thought we were making, I don't know, I won't say what they thought. Maybe they thought we were saying and all that. So that's what the hard part of it is.
You said that you remember having to go to the bathroom when you first got there. Other than that, what's in your head for those first memories?
Oh man, you know, and I talked to my wife a lot. I says, you know, she always asks me, she says, what do you remember? And I told her, I said, I don't remember nothing. I don't remember nothing. All I remember is that I had to be quiet. I had to be quiet. I couldn't make any noises because I remember getting slapped a lot. So I always thought of that, you know, I didn't say nothing, so I'm going to just be quiet. And there was fun times, but not too many of them. I just learned how to be quiet. I've seen a lot of things that went on in there with the children, how they were slapped and got their hairs pulled. And I remember one young girl. She must have did something bad, you know, and none brought her in front of all the kids. And they made her take some of her clothes off in front of them kids. To embarrass her for what she had done.
How many other children were there?
I don't know. But there was 2 dormitories, girls and boys. And there was a lot of us. There was a lot of us there.
How many adults were there?
Well, I remember about 4 or 5 nuns, a couple of priests, but other than that, I didn't see anybody else, just them. So,
What about a physical description of, well, you went to a sentence first. Can you give us a physical description of what it looked like at that time?
well, it looked like a big dormitory, like a big barracks. They had all those cots all lined up in a row like that. There was a big door there, and every once in a while the kids would get hollered at to shut up because they were told to go sleep and they didn't. And every once in a while you see someone peeking through the window. There was a nun looking at you. Yeah, it was dark. It was dark. It was dark, and at night you could hear kids crying. Someone fooling around, and those are the ones that got a lot of trouble because they were always being watched somehow. I don't know how they were able to see them, but they were able to see them in there all the time. So it was bad. I guess it was just lonesome because you really didn't know each other. We didn't, not right away. Maybe after time went on, we started to know each other's name and all that. But at the beginning, we didn't know nobody. We were there. Me and my brother, I was by myself. My brother, he was a baby, and my sisters, they put them in a girls' room, and I was by myself.
So you had relatives there, but you were separated.
Yep.
So you actually would have class there, school, right?
Yes, we did have class with her. Yeah, I remember. I don't remember that stuff. I really don't. My wife is amazed at me that I can't remember. You got to be kidding me. I says, I don't. I guess that was my way to black that all out. I didn't want to know nothing about it. So.
Well, in a class, how many people might have been in one class?
Easy. I just told you I don't know.
Okay.
See, you're going to get that from me because I really don't know. That was my way of doing it. Other people, they had their own ways. My sister, she said that she was old enough that she was going to remember everything that went on in there, but I didn't. So I just, that was part of my MO. I wasn't gonna remember nothing because it wasn't. I didn't want it. I didn't want to be there. So.
You mentioned that you've seen some nuns and a priest.
Oh yeah.
Were there any other adults there?
I didn't see no other ones there. There might have been a janitor there, but I didn't recognize him being there. So I didn't see anybody else.
Overall, did the adults treat the students the same way?
I believe everyone was treated the same way. There was no favoritism in there. There was no favoritism on.
How would you say the adults treated the children?
Well, I think during the right out in the open, I think most of the time the treatment wasn't all that bad. I guess they're trying to be civil to us all, and sometimes when we make a mistake, they scream at us, and we go from there, and or else we get cracked on the hands. Yeah, I remember that. I got cracked on the hands a couple of times because I couldn't remember what to say. So I didn't know what to say. So, yeah, I remember that.
So,
A little bit at a time it comes.
do you believe the adults care about your future?
Well, I always look back and I seen the cruelty of the nuns and the priests, and I never could believe that a person of God could treat a child the way they treated us. I could not believe that. And when we wouldn't listen, they would say, well, I'm going to go get the Father. They would do all the discipline. And that's that's what I could never believe that. And my wife said, how could you, my wife is not native, and she said, be prejudiced against that. I said, these people didn't do that. I said, they're the ones that did that to our life as a child, And I look back at some of the hurt that I seen our young boys and girls going through with their hair getting pulled and slapped around. And I was at I want to throw this one. I was at a big drum ceremony this weekend, and there was a little boy there, beautiful little boy. And I looked at him and I thought about today. I says, look at that little boy. He was one of those boys that were buried out there. That little baby like that. That little one like that. Those memories, they all come back. I said, wow. I've heard people talk, this guy over here, he said the same thing. So we put you all, guys. I said, no, you can't do that. I said, no, you can't do that because he's got his own feelings. And I got my own feelings about what happened. So we can't put us together. His life has changed because of those feelings that were given to him at this time. And mine are too, we never learned how to love enough, We didn't know how to care. So how can our children now learn how to do the same thing, because we weren't able to give it to them, that ability to learn those sacred things that you need to live a good life. So.
Did you feel like you were able to trust any of the adults at the school?
I never tried to do that because I just wanted to. The only trust I had is doing what they wanted me to do. So if I did that, I knew I wouldn't get in trouble or anything like that. So that's where I guess I look back at it now and I guess I had to play the game. I had to play the game my way, and one of them was doing what they wanted me to do, and so.
How did the students get along?
I really believe that children, they always get along. Kids always get along. They like to fight and they argue with each other, but at the end, they're always happy with each other. We always had a good time. We'd play and tease each other, and all the time we had some good times when Knights of Columbus come in there and everybody throw your name in a bucket and pick out a little. Knights of Columbus will come give you a gift, some kind. And those are happy times. There was a few times, but you try to pick them up, but they're hard to find, And we did. It wasn't really too bad, but this is the cruelness of it all. There was happy times, and everybody was waited for their parents to come see them on the weekends, and hopefully that they were allowed to take them home. But a lot of us weren't able to do that for a while until our parents were able to get settled in, and then we came home.
Who are your friends?
Who are my friends? Some. I don't even know them. I didn't know the kids. I don't know the children anymore. I got out of there when I was young. I don't remember none of them. The same way with when I went to Harbor Springs. There was a few people here that went there of Waters meet there, but other than that, we didn't know anybody. We were all put together and get along. So that was.
All right, this is another question that is designed to sort of see if it shakes anything loose. You wake up, it's a typical day. First of all, how are you being wakened, and what do you have to look forward to on that typical day?
Well, I know. First thing we had to get up and get our stuff together. Hopefully nobody. I've seen a couple of our young kids. They were bedwetters and all that. And oh God, they'd get it bad.
What time would they wake you up?
Oh, around early in the morning, maybe something like 6 o'clock or something. We had to get up, get ourselves cleaned up, and they'd have our breakfast ready for us. And after that, we'd have to go do the chores that we had, whatever they give us. And I don't remember what those were. I suppose we had to do a lot of cleaning up and all that. And then later on, probably have to go sit in the classroom and learn, go to catechism and teach us the Catholic way.
How was the food?
Well, the food was, I guess it was edible. We ate it, and a lot of us, didn't like it, but we were made to eat it, whatever it was. And we had to sit there until it was done. So wasn't getting away with that. So I guess we weren't going to starve because we had to eat it all. Yeah.
Did you have to take part in, any of the chores, clean up or anything, or was it all prepped for you?
Oh yeah, the girls used to have to do all that, and we had to go out. The boys had to go do other boys' things, cleaning up outside and all that, and washing whatever we had to do. Yeah.
Generally, how did you feel on a day-to-day basis?
Well, I guess I was just there. I wasn't sad all the time. I guess there was a little happiness there. We fooled around a lot and all that. So I guess we were happy sometimes. It was at them night times and those classroom times and those things like that when we really had to do what they asked us to do.
And what were you like at that age? Were you outgoing? Were you quiet?
Oh, I believe I was. I think I was happy. I think I was. I was just like any other boy. I have fun and fool around, and I know according to my sisters, I guess I was kind of ruffian, and she said maybe that's why sometimes you got the good licking. I don't know, but I was just a kid. Boys, they like to fool around and do crazy things. Yeah, but it was okay as a kid.
What applicable skills and knowledge did you obtain from the school?
Well, I don't know of anything that I have. I just learned of the sadness and the loneliness, when you were quiet, as you felt that way. When everybody was noisy, you were happy. But when you had to be quiet, and that's all you had left.
So what did you do for fun?
We played ball. We ran around. I guess we played a lot of different games together. And yeah. I remember one time, this was the funniest. I remember this one because this was the worst one in my life. I never got beat so bad in my life on this one. This is where I see it. This is when you're a kid, you do all the craziest things. Me and another little boy were playing there. I don't remember his name, but there was a big bush there. We seen something moving around in there. And so we gone over there and we thought it was a cat, We thought it was a cat. So we went over there, we got our stick, and we were going to get that cat out of that bush. And we got too close. What it ended up being was a skunk. Oh, boy, did he give it to us. We really got one. We got scrubbed down. We got one of them wire brushes. We were trying to get that skunk out of it. That was like one of them. See those little crazy things like that kids do that we, didn't know any better. I thought it was a cat. So, but that was funny. Some little crazy little things. But other than that, I imagine there was a lot of times I had fun, but I don't remember them. So.
On the opposite end of the spectrum, what's one of your worst memories from that time?
Well, I guess my worst memory was not being able to go after I got there, go back home. I remember I had to stay there. I guess that was the best one. And I remember crying after that.
What kind of values did they try to instill within the students?
Well, they didn't throw any of our values in it. They tried to throw the values of the non-Indian people. They felt that that their values were doing their children good, so they were trying to instill that on us, and we were supposed to follow those ways and learn those ways, learn those languages, learn those religions, learn those things. So that's what their values were, and we didn't know nothing about that, and so when we came home, that's all we had. We had what they taught us, and we didn't have nothing about our values because we were too young to learn them because they put us in the orphanages.
What happened if you broke the rules?
Oh, if we broke the rules, we would get punished. Sometimes we'd have to kneel a long time, hold out your arms, stay there until they told you to put them down. They just, they'd make you do things that, it would hurt. It would hurt, and you'd have to stay there till they go. If you do it again, you're going to do it again.
So you mentioned that you went to a Simmons and then they brought you somewhere else. When did you finally reach the end of this system? When did you get out?
Out of when I had graduated from a boys' school in Lower Michigan, I graduated.
And what age were you then?
I was 18. Yeah.
18 years old. And what did you do at that time?
Well, I joined the Navy. I went into service.
And how did that have an effect on your life?
Well, the effect on my life, that was good. That service was good. I got some bad habits when I was in there, but what it did do is when I came back, I never knew prejudice in my life. I never did. But when I came back from the service, I was drinking then. And I went into a bar and they told me that you can't be in here. I said, why not? He says, because you're an Indian. I said, what do you mean? So what? He says, oh, we don't serve you. We don't serve you. That was the first time I ever felt prejudice. And no, I did not understand that at all. But now, I see it now and I understand it now, but at that time, I didn't know why.
And at that time in your life, how do you think the time at that school affected you, the orphanages, benefits or consequences?
Well, what it did do, what it took away from me was my culture. My ability not to teach my children about this, I can do it now, but as they were growing up when they needed it, I wasn't able to do that. I didn't get ready to teach them till I was 36 years old, And a lot of them are in their 30s now, and they had their own lives. So, but I've taught them what I could, but that's what I can do, and I can still teach them if they wanted to.
When did you get out of the Navy?
I got out in 67.
And what age were you then?
Yeah, 20. Well, I was 24 or 25, something like that, yeah.
What did you do after that?
Well, I come back. I went and worked in Milwaukee for a while and stayed there and decided I needed to come home, come back here. Come back here and work for a little while and did what I could find as a job, and then out in the woods, no education, just my high school, and high school wasn't that bad at the time. You could get a job, but nowadays you can't get nothing with a high school. But I was able to get a job with the Forest Service. Spent my 27 years there at the Forest Service and retired. So I did that. I got that part out of the service because from Vietnam they were able to let me get a job at Vietnam Preference, and everything was good from there. So, but now retired. We're going back to Savannah this year and spend the winter over there, and hopefully coming back. Kind of dealing with cancer right now, so.
Did you keep in touch with anybody from the school or orphanages that you've been to?
No, I haven't. They all went on their own ways. Never kept in touch. So,
How do you describe yourself today?
well, I hope I can get along. I can do all right. I can do all right, and I can take that what I have felt from being in this situation in in the orphanage, that life is okay. It's good. It's good. And I've learned how to deal with all that stuff. I've learned how to deal with prejudice. I learned how to deal with people saying that we, as Native people, are pagans and that we don't know anything about anything. I've learned how to deal with that, and I know that they don't understand who we are. So I just said, that's your fault that you don't understand. It's not my fault, and everything is good in my world. So it's all.
How do you think you'd be different today if you had not attended the sit-ins and the orphanages and schools?
Well, I'm sure there would. No, I'm not sure. No, I'm not sure, because at that time of my life when I was growing up, time for our people broke away, Alcoholism came in effect. A lot of our sacred ceremonies were lost. All our ceremonies were lost. They're still here, but some of them are hard to come back. But I don't know, as a child, if I was been able to be involved with that, because it was all going away. No one was doing it no more. So I don't know if I'd have been able to get involved with that. I might have been able to get a better education and all that, but other than that, alcoholism took us right to the bottom. A lot of our people suffer that, and they're trying to make up with it now as they grow older, and try to find what we have lost. But so
this is kind of a big one, but how have your relationships been with other people? Work, friends, family?
Oh, well, yeah, we're good. We're good. We have good time together. Right now, it's this COVID. We aren't able to do anything together. But no, when we get together, we're friends. We're friends. I know everybody loves each other, and we get along good. Yeah. So there's no problem there.
What would you say your values are today?
My values. Well, my values is just trying to help one another live a good life and care, and just make sure that we all can get along together, and I know the Creator will take care of us. So values are good. They're good. They're all out there, and we're going to have this lodge after a while. Values are good. So there's no problem with the values. So.
Why is it important that these stories be told?
Well, I believe, I haven't told these stories to my children, just one. And I know I have to tell them, because they don't know who I am. They do not know who I am. Oh, I'm their dad, and I do this, I do that, but inside they don't know who I am. So I have to tell them all. So that they will understand when someone else comes up and tells them the same thing, that they understand. It's not like now. It's so much different when we were children, you know. We didn't have what you guys have now. We didn't have nothing. We didn't have anything. And the reason why, I can tell them. Yes, sir. Yes. I'm good with this now.